Welcome back to In the Garden. I am joined with Jordan from Grange Co-op, and today we're talking about air plants. Now we have a ton of these little guys everywhere, and they're a very unique and interesting looking plant. And I know you have some facts that go along with them. So they don't really take a whole lot of water, or they don't grow with the roots. What do you how can you best explain these unique plants?
Sure. So air plants are epiphytes. They are plants that grow in trees and on rocks and basically surfaces they couldn't get roots to anyways. Their air plants in particular are all members of the Tillandsia family, but even then you see a variety of the shapes they take. Everything from these long curly ones that look like Spanish moss to these little curly, cute, interesting dudes. They all come from relatively warmer climates, but because of that, they are pretty stable even in our own houses when we have the heater running in winter, or when you have cooler temps in summer. Right,
and they're great for decorating. So we have a ton of just fun, cute things that you can decorate your home with. And because there's no roots, you can easily glue them on to decor. You can stick them inside these fun things. What are these things called again?
So some mounting options would be like the cholla roots. Often a lot of people with terrariums are familiar with these. Driftwood, grapevine, manzanita branches. Hot glue is commonly used, and that's pretty safe for them because it doesn't get hot enough to burn the plant. You can also use florist wire, bread ties even, anything to adhere it. Because these don't have the roots, the only consideration you need to have is when you're putting them on something is how can I take care of that later? Does it need to be easily detachable? Can the whole thing get wet just fine? No worries about that.
Right, so with taking care of them, you have to soak them or spray them. And so like plants that you have hanging like this or in here, what's the best way to go when you have to soak or water them?
If you're new to air plants, I'd recommend soaking them. It's the way you know you're gonna get the water all the way to the core. Often if you don't mist them heavy enough, you're not getting the water to the interior where it's gonna need that to keep on growing. So since they don't need a surface to grow on, we can mount these however we want. We just wanna make sure that what we're putting them on is something that we can take care of. So if you're new to air plants, I recommend soaking them. That way you know the water's getting to their core. Often people who just mist them infrequently may not get water to the middle where they need it. But if you're more familiar with them, you're more used to them, misting heavy in their spot without having to detach them is probably going to be okay.
All right. Well, if you guys want to learn more about these very unique and funky, cool air plants, of course, you can head to a Grange Co-op store to learn more information, or you can head to our website, KDRV.com. Thank you so much for joining us in the garden.